Hey guys, welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So I broke in again to the Andre racket. Part 1 will be linked down below. You guys had a lot of questions. You guys had a lot of insight. So I'm gonna actually do a part 2 right now on Andre's racket from 1999. The one thing you guys noticed, and I even missed it, is that the mains on this is the Ashway Kevlar. Now, if you look at the last mains here, it's actually part of the cross, which is the gut. So his stringer basically ended not at the last main, but at the second to last main, and then came around and tied it at the top here. And then he started the crosses with the gut and came around, kind of like an around the world string pattern, if you guys know what that is. So my guess is that he did this to keep the ends tight, because this Kevlar tends to lose tension really fast. It's very durable, but it loses tension super fast. Now, the string or the gut on here is 1.40. It actually says on here Babolat Team 140. I've actually never seen that before. They may have made this back in the day, or it was a special make just for him and some of the pros for more durability. The thickest that I'm able to get my hands on is this Babolat Tonic ball feel, which is like a lower grade VS gut, 135 millimeters. So it's a 135. That's the thickest I can get. So let's dig into this racket a little more. So I told you about the strings. Now, I can't break into this butt cap because there's no trap door. I would have to take this whole thing apart, rip out staples to pop it out. So my guess is that there is probably no silicone underneath unless Head did it, or his guy that you guys are telling me about in New York took this thing apart, injected it, or did some type of a pallet change, or just laid lead on top of the grip and then put the grip back on. Now, there is a leather grip here. There is a leather grip here underneath this. You can tell that's leather right there. And as I told you in the first video, there's a number here. I don't know, what do you guys see? I'm losing my sight here. 10406 is what it is. Okay, so looks like it's pretty scratched up too. So I don't know if he threw this racket or if his guy that customizes it was messing with the trap door, the lack of a trap door here in the butt cap. So over here, the sticker says 64 pounds, strung on 9/11 of 1999. Okay, so what else is about this racket? We are gonna actually go into this head guard as much as we can to see if there's lead here. Okay, so I'm gonna lay it down here and then start prying it with it. Hopefully I don't destroy it too much. Hey Siri, turn on flashlight.
It's on.
Okay. Is lead at the top here. So I'm trying to figure out where the lead ends. Still going there. Looks like it ends right there. So that is second main to the last is where it ends on one side. So I'm guessing it also ends second main to the end on the other side. Head guard. And it starts at where the Kevlar ends. So second to the last main, right there, all the way around to there. So second to last main to second to last main, all the way around. That's a lot of lead, and a lot of lead at the top. So, but I mean, that's pretty typical for most pro players. Like I said, I'm not sure what other customization there is. Some of you guys said that guy in New York did it, and he probably knows what he did and how he did it to make it this kind of weight and balance. So what I actually also have today is I got my hands on one of these, the remake of it from, I think it was 1.5 years ago. Same head size. They even put like a Turner grip type of thing on it, but they put their, you know, head sticker on it right there. But you can see, you know, the signature AA on this original model, because his did say AA, Andre Agassi, and then the specs on it on the other side. The head likes to use 690 centimeters, 107 square inches, 1819 string pattern. So I'm gonna take a quick look at this racket and do a quick comparison, and then we're gonna actually take it over to the scale and do a quick check on them. Okay, so let's check the length. I was just looking at the rackets. Doesn't this racket look a little bigger and wider to you? Or is that just an illusion from the colors? I'm gonna actually go side by side with it. Interesting. Okay, so I'm looking, trying to line it up actually a little better. Okay, that's lined up. Okay, so I'm looking at the string bed too while I'm turning it here. The string bed looks like it lines up pretty well on that 1819 string pattern. It looks like it lines up pretty well here too. Okay, slowly rotate it around. I can probably tell if it lines up on the stringing here too. Interesting. I'm gonna get out of the way. I'm gonna grab a tape measure real quick. This beam looks a little different to me, so I'm gonna just take a quick look at it. Right there. No, it's identical. The yellow's throwing me off a little. So it came, the original racket came out at that line. So like 2 lines from the 1 inch mark. This one, the remake, and it comes out the same spot. It's just, I guess the indentation and the darker makes it look a little thinner, but it's actually not. Check down here. It's a little thinner down here. Let's see if it's the same here. Yeah, it's identical. You know what they say, when something's lighter, it looks fatter. And this is a little darker, so it looks skinnier. So it's kind of just an illusion. Yeah. Quarters, 3/8, and halves that they made in this limited run. Now, looks like it's strung. I mean, it feels like a poly to me. When I was looking at it online, it says that it's factory strung with head synthetic gut at 53 pounds. This definitely could be that, but I don't know. I'm feeling the knots and I'm feeling the string. I, it feels kind of like Head Hawk, or definitely not Lynx. Maybe Head Hawk if it was a guess from the factory, but not 100% sure about that. So this, you know, Head hasn't had a oversized version of a Radical for probably, I want to say 9 years now. So they eliminated it back in, I think, the TI series, and then never came out with it again in a 107 head. So if you guys like this racket, I think they're like on sale for $100 now online. Now, the other thing that was cool was that Head actually gave you rubber bands. So yeah, tie these rubber bands on. Actually, for my test, I might just take one of these rubber bands and tie it on myself and see what we get. I'm not gonna actually just do it perfect. I'm not gonna do it like how he does it. I'm just gonna tie a knot, just for the weight and balance and stuff. So watch, this thing is so cheap it breaks off. Ah, crap. I didn't want it on forever. I just want it on for 2 minutes. Table. It needs a double knot. See, look, Head thought of everything. All you Andre fans. All right. You want to mess with it now? For one thing you guys asked me for was the balance point. So I'm going to start there, since you guys know everything else about this racket already. Okay. Right about, oh, right about there. So that is, see if I can make it more precise for you guys. Right there. 12.5 centimeters. No, sorry, I'm blind. 32.5 centimeters. 32.5 centimeters. I'm gonna convert that down below here, okay? So 32.5 centimeters is the balance point. Inches would be 12 3/4. 12 3/4. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna convert that down here. I'm gonna take the remake of it, stock racket, and see what that is. "32 centimeters on the dot." 32 centimeters on the dot on the balance there. So definitely Head lighter. That lead tape probably has something to do with it at the top. Let's check the overall weight. $350.5 grams. That's pretty heavy for being a stock racket. Now, Andre's. $365. So that lead is probably what the difference is. Swing weight. $340. on the swing weight. Again, that's pretty high for being a stock racket. Andres. $349 on the swing weight. I'm just wondering if there's leather underneath here. Interesting. So, what does this tell me? It tells me there's not a lot of difference. For one, this stock racket is pretty close to Andre's. We know now that Andre put lead from there to there on the top, and that definitely could be the difference in these two rackets right now. I know you guys have, told me that it's customized and it's messed around with and all that other stuff, but from what all this is telling me is maybe aside from the lead on the top, these two could be very, very similar or the same. That's what I'm deriving from my data here. One more interesting thing is this racket actually says made in Austria. So I'm almost 100% sure this thing's made in China, because the Austria plant is either no longer there or only makes it for pros, is what I've heard. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this one's made in China. So what did we learn today? At least from my data there's not a whole lot of difference in these two rackets. Aside from the lead underneath the head guard is pretty much the same. So if you want to make your racket like Andre's, put some lead. I probably wouldn't recommend taking out the head guard unless you really want to. But I would just put the lead underneath here from that string, second to last, all the way to there on both sides. And then you would have Andre's racket. I would probably make sure that there's leather under here too. But I think they actually did a pretty good job with, balancing it out and weighing it out to make it as close as you can get. So I know Andre's had many renditions of this racket over the years. I'm sure it's been tweaked many, many times to adjust for his game. So this is just the one I have to play with. So, but this is really close. For what I saw on the internet, these things are like $99 or $100. If you really want that, just add some lead and you got Andre's racket for $100. All right. If you have any questions, shoot it over to me. You have any comments, shoot it over to me. I'm happy to be here for you. Okay. Thanks for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. So for those of you who are seeing this first, there's a part 1 to this. So again, it'll be linked down below. This is part 2. All right. Thanks.